Good morning and welcome to the morning show on Politics and Business Television here in the city of Abuja. My name is Chidi Kenneth and I'm not alone today in the studio. I have with me Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chidi. Good morning, viewers.
How was your night, sir?
Fine, thank you.
I can see that you are well relaxed and you're looking, both of us are looking bluish this morning.
Of course, I can see that you're looking prettier.
All right, thank you very much. We have lots of issues to dive in today and making the rounds globally, starting from the Israeli-Iran bomb strike. And some are saying that could it be the possible third world war that has been looming ever since for a long time, since last year. But before we dive into that, we also have another issue of the 1.5 trillion Naira capital fund appropriated for a particular project, and at the end of the day, 0 Naira was disbursed. Alhaji Ibrahim, 1.5 billion.
So it's a huge amount of money.
Very huge amount of money disbursed for a project, and at the end of the day, according to some reports, they said
no fund has been disbursed.
No money was disbursed. Okay.
Very embarrassing situation, of course.
Embarrassing situation indeed, but we will get into the bottom of the whole matter. We look deep, we'll dive deeper to find out what happened, where the money went to, and the rest of them. But before we go there, we'll be going on a break, and when we come back, we have the newspaper reviews for you. Please stay tuned. Welcome once again to the morning show here on Politics and Business Television. I still remain Chidi Kenneth, and as usual, I have my colleague here, Alhaji Ibrahim Shaibu. Alhaji Ibrahim, are you ready for us for the newspaper?
Of course I am.
All right, we have lots of informations and news out there in the newspaper. But the first, Alhaji, we have two, Mr. Shaibu, sorry, we have two newspapers facing us this morning. We have the Punch newspaper headline reads, U.S. alerts citizens in Nigeria as Shiite protest. U.S. alerts citizens in Nigeria as Shiite protest rocks Lagos. Shiite protest rock Lagos. We all know that Shiite belongs to the they are more of what we call the Shiites, the group that is aligned with that of Iran. And knowing fully well that Ayatollah Ali, that is the leader of the supreme leader of Iran, was killed very few days ago. And then it has sparked up a lot of reactions here in Nigeria. But the US is saying that they are alerting Nigerians, citizens, that Shiites is protesting. And we're meant to understand that the protest is going on in some parts of the north already, and extending it to Lagos. And that is why US seems to be raising some form of concerns.
Yes, rightly so, because the Shiite group mostly have their allegiance to the Shiite faction of Islam. Majorly Islam is divided into two sections: the Sunni Muslim, which constitute about 70% of Muslims worldwide, and then the Shiite group, which constitute about 30 or 25% of the Muslim worldwide. And then the largest concentration of the Shia group in the world is the Iran. So they look up to the Iranians as their spiritual guide, the Iranian leader as their spiritual guide.
And now the leader is dead.
And now the leader is dead. And then we know in Nigeria we have this history of the Shia group in Nigeria being, sorry to say, somehow violent, because sometimes whenever they come out for this kind of protest, they usually exhibit certain kind of unpleasant situations.
Will I be correct to say they are the extremists?
No, I cannot say extremists, because there's difference between being an extremist. The extremism has to do with the consciousness of the religion, and the violence is something that you can pick up along the way. So because of that, especially in Nigeria, the Shia group in other countries have already protested. But I think apart from India, I haven't seen any violent situation. But because of the experiences we had in Nigeria, probably that is why the US government is cautioning Nigerians to be careful of that. But personally, I don't think the Shiite will exhibit that qualities now, because they are also trying to now change from that previous behavior of theirs.
Yes, okay, they're trying to change from the previous.
Of course, from
but what do you make of this warnings from the US? Is it that there is some form of for US to send this kind of warning to Nigerian citizens? Are they envisaging any kind of violence?
Yes, I think because we are now in a very volatile period, I think every precaution has to be taken globally, not just in Nigeria. So I think this alert, I think is a step in the right direction. And I hope and pray that the Shiite movement in Nigeria does not allow itself to be seen as they are used to be seen by the Nigerians. So I hope and I believe and I have feelings that they are not going to react violently this time around. I see them actually protesting in a peaceful manner, because I think I saw a video, I think it's either one of those northern states, I haven't seen any violence shown in that one. And I think it will be the same all over Nigeria, if at all they will continue to protest.
But Mr. Brian, before now, the Shiites have been protesting. During the days of the late President Muhammadu Buhari, we saw the situation where the Shiites, allegedly, blocked the convoy of the Chief of Army Staff, and that led to some form of killings and the rest of them. So, could I be right to say that we are likely to see something like that this time around? Because the Shiites, when they want to lead their protest, they go to the heart of the city. The last time we saw it at along the IBB Expressway, we also saw one at Zuba, where traffic jams everywhere. So are we going to see such kind of protest this time around? Linking it, considering the fact that the US has raised some form of concern. Is it going to be business as usual, like you said, that they are trying to change their ways? So what ways are they going to change? These are the issues I want us to look at. Is it that they are going to continue the way they used to do things? When you see them, I have witnessed one of the protests, and I saw that virtually 85% of the road was blocked.
I saw one in Zaria too, which was pretty bad, in which the government has no option than to open fire at them, which has led to the arrest of their spiritual leader in Nigeria, which were
Zanzaki.
Exactly. But all I'm saying is that we are in very tense situation globally, and they are also aware of it. It will please you to know that the Shia group are one of the most intelligent Muslims in the world. They are very, very knowledgeable. They are very smart and all that.
Some say they are even rich.
Forget about that. Yes, they are, of course. They are, of course, because most countries that are Shiite are very, very naturally endowed with resources, like Iraq, like Iran as well, and even part of the Iran region in some of those Arabian Middle East are very rich also. But going by that, judging from what is happening globally in the world, I don't think, and I hope too, that they will just protest peacefully, to express their dismay, to express their unhappiness about the killing of their spiritual leader. But alerting Nigerians to take the Nigerian government, especially to take precautions, like even ordinary Nigerians, to be very cautious. I think it's a step to be very careful. It's a step in the right direction.
Okay, it's the step in the right direction. All right, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, we're going to dig deeper when we get to the discussion of the day before. Now, let's go back to the newspaper review and then look at other issues. And I think apart from the Punch newspaper, we have other newspapers there, which we'll be looking at shortly. But before then, let me also add to what you have said, in recent times. I want to protest is the right of every citizen.
Exactly.
To protest when you are aggrieved. You have the right to protest, and which is also your constitutional right to do that. However, one should be able to do it within the ambit of the law,
within the confine of the state rules and regulations.
Yes, so that we don't, inconvenience other people.
Of course.
I also want to say that, like you said, we need to. The situation should be managed
properly.
Because it's like a time bomb.
Exactly.
It's a time bomb. The world globally now is experiencing some form of a political tension.
Exactly.
Here and there, we're yet to recover from the Russian-Ukrainian war, the Israel-Gaza war, and then now we're having the Iran-US, and from what we heard,
even Afghanistan and Pakistan also.
Pakistan. So everywhere is just full of conflict.
Exactly.
So, and we want to believe that it will not be giving some form of religious coloration so that it doesn't escalate, because religious issues are very sensitive issues. Exactly. All right, we have the next newspaper looking at staring at us, the Tribune. All right, Nigerian importers to buy more as Middle East crisis affects shipping. Nigerian importers to buy more as Middle East crisis
affects shipping.
This
is very much expected, because the conflict that's currently going on between US-Israel on the one hand and Iran on the other is taking place in the Middle East. And then Iran has the control of the Strait of Hormuz, something like that, which is actually the passage through which most of these commercial ships pass through, especially transportation of oil tankers and other things. And then Iran has now blocked that route. The Strait of Hormuz or something.
But some will say that Iran has some kind of affiliation with China.
Yes, we are coming to that. In fact, Iran, the only supporters right now, clear supporters of Iran in this crisis are Russia, China, and partly North Korea. But China and Russia have come out openly to say that they are presently not actively or physically involved themselves in this fight.
So they have associated themselves from what is going on.
Not completely. They say it for now.
Partially.
Yes, just like Britain has said also that it will allow it base in one of those Middle Eastern countries for US to use it, but it will not participate actively, physically to be seen participating or taking side with the US and her allies fighting Iran.
Now, this
also, the president of Spain also says that he has nothing to do with this conflict, and he will not Spain will not involve itself. So that is why I think it is very important for both Iran and US and Israel to agree to come to the table of negotiation and discuss matters, because analysts are afraid that the conflict may give rise to fears of going into third world war. Although clear evidence.
we'll go into that as we progress. That is going to be one of the major issues on the front burner today.
Okay.
But before we go into that, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, looking at this, the phrase that importers are going to buy more, could it be possible inflation?
Of course there is. Of course, because oil is a live wire of every individual. Oil is a live wire of every nation. Oil determines the economies of nations. And then these Middle Eastern countries, especially
our major
especially Iran, are the major suppliers of oil. China particularly depends on Iran for its oil export. And you know that many countries of the world are now doing good business with China. So if you call this live wire, if you call this route through which all those ships and all these oil tankers are passing through, of course it has to affect the world globally.
It's like blocking the Guagualada Express.
It will spill over to all global economy.
The popular commercial express, Guagualada Express Road. When you block it, there are a lot of tankers lifting fuel from Lagos, from Port Harcourt to Kano and the rest of them.
Exactly.
That's the scenario we're looking
locally. At? Exactly, that's the scenario.
Well, look at it locally here.
Exactly, that's the scenario we're looking at. So far, even Britain is already beginning to exercise fear because one of his ships has been rendered intercepted along those routes. So almost 60% of oil tankers passing through, transacting the world business, not only oil, even other commercial activities. Ships taking cargo ships that are passing, going around the world doing businesses are passing through.
Routes they are shipping through Iran.
And
there's likelihood that the ships will be attacked.
Exactly. They have already given warning that any ship going through that canal, through that strait, will be bombed. They told the world
that they are trying to express their anger.
Because they are in war. They have to take every advantage. Exactly. Their leader has been killed. And then other countries are even giving the impression that they will also participate in fighting against them. Countries like the European Union, just last night, the European Union Secretary General is saying that they are going to take part in the war supporting America and Israel. So far, I think among the European countries, only Britain and Spain has declared that they are not going to be part of this war. So you see, Iran has to use every resources, every possibility, everything they thought is going to help them win this war. So they believe that closing that strait will play a very great role in giving them victory over the war.
Okay, Mr. Shaibu, we will dig deeper, like I said, when we go straight to the the topic at the front burner today, which has to do with the U.S. strike on Iran.
Yeah.
And some people are saying that could it be the possible third world war? And that is one of the major topics we're going to, when we are going to, dive into today. And when we get there, then we're going to buttress more on this, salient point that you are making.
Exactly.
And let's have the next newspaper. We still have the Vanguard. The Vanguard is saying something else, and the Vanguard is saying that
Middle East war.
We're still talking about the Middle East war and the effect it has on the economy, and that we just talked about. That we also have we have the Guardian as well. The Guardian is saying, okay, what's the Guardian saying there?
Drug shortage.
Drug shortage.
Funding cuts for 100 million Nigerians. NID gains at risk.
Everything here is connected to the war at the Middle East,
Exactly.
drug shortage, and also all whatnot, shortages that will be affecting Nigerians. Nigerians are already projecting, exercising their fears already.
Exactly.
And that shows how,
rightly so.
Yes. But don't you think it's time for us to begin to look inward, Mr. Shaibu? Because we begin to learn how to manufacture certain things. The whole papers are just, the first 3 papers that we have just read, or 4 of them, expresses fear.
Exactly.
In all sectors. Now, where the Guardian is talking about drugs, the other one is saying about importation of all sorts of things. That shows that Nigeria relies mostly
so much on importation to the country. I think this war is going to be an eye-opener to many African countries, particularly those that are considered actually very strong, like Nigeria, like South Africa. In Nigeria, we have everything to be able to rely on ourselves. Developing drugs, developing small machines.
We have the natural resources.
Exactly. We have the intelligence. We have the manpower to do all those things. So I don't even know. I think what we lack in this country is good leadership. A leadership that can motivate its citizens to be able to do the required things. It's very disappointing for Nigerians at this stage, at this age, to see that a crisis like this can affect virtually every aspect of our life.
Everything.
Honestly speaking.
We started from importation of fuel. Now
Yes.
we're talking about drugs now.
It will affect virtually everything, not just drugs, even food, even food stuff, even machineries, everything, because we virtually import everything.
So could I be correct to say that when Europe sneezes, Africa quivers?
Of course, when Europe sneezes, Africa quivers. That's right. That's right. Because you see, that's why I respect most of these Asian countries. Places like Iran, places like India, Korea,
China
is the number one. Actually.
Singapore.
What were we doing, and what are we still doing?
Some story was told that in 1956 or thereabout that a particular country, was it Malaysia or something, came to Nigeria and took our palm oil seed.
We got independence
and today
along with some of
importing
these
it into
countries.
Nigeria.
Exactly, we got independence along with some of these countries. And even I remember I saw one, is it documentary or I read somewhere that when America was giving out names of countries that can actually grow faster among the developing countries, then they were giving independence at about the same time. I think they listed Nigeria as the first.
So why are we not growing?
That is why we are coming to that question.
That is leadership. I think it has connection. You have a lot of connection to do with the 1.5 trillion. When we have issues like 1.5 trillion naira.
You can imagine that.
Appropriated for a particular project and
about
0 naira.
The most painful. Anyway, we will discuss more about that when we come to the topic.
You see, Mr. Ibrahim, I sympathize with you too, because for Nigeria to be projected as one of the countries that will grow faster,
honestly,
I think at some point in
I think that time they listed Nigeria, Singapore,
Japan.
I think Nigeria, Singapore. I think with China, but definitely there was Nigeria, there was Singapore. I forgot the other one. So, but look at these 2 countries now. Look at even Pakistan, that was not even mentioned here. Look at India now. India is almost at par with countries like China. Well, even the small industry that are manufacturing, I think, small ammunition, DIC in Kaduna, I don't even know whether it is functioning any longer. We don't do anything.
They are talking about even Ajaokuta still. Is it functioning?
Even see, wow. Take this industry, take this place, take this company and give it to one of those smallest European countries and see the wonders I can do with it.
Now, looking at this underdevelopment.
It's been neglected.
Looking at this underdevelopment, don't you think that there's some form of international influence on it? Is it policies that affects the growth of our economy, or is it bad leadership?
There might have been that. But that also boils down to the kind of leaders that we have.
So leadership is key.
Of course, leadership is key in all of that. Other developing countries, they also face similar international influences, but still they fought it back. They were still able to do certain things.
So we don't have leaders with the political
Yes. The way Nigeria got our independence peacefully is the same way India got its independence peacefully. We did not fight to achieve our independence, while so many countries have fought.
It was a gentlemanly agreement.
It was a gentlemanly agreement.
So where did we get
India was slave as Nigerians during the colonial period because they did not fight. They only have very visible leader, Mahatma Gandhi, who stood for them and talked. They achieved it peacefully.
The great Mahatma Gandhi.
So Nigerian too, through the good leadership of our founding fathers, the Azikiwes, the Tafawa Balewas, the Obafemi Awolowo, exactly, the Akintolas, they did not fight. The fact that we got our independence does not mean that we cannot grow. Almost all third world countries have had European influence at one time or the other, but they were still able to fight it back, and they do something reasonable for their countries. Malaysia did the same. So Korea did the same. Most of those countries.
So, but is there any hope?
Yeah, there is. Not for generation, obviously, but I think for the
not for what?
Yes, because how many years now I'm already 60. So I see potentials in the youth coming up. We have brilliant, very intelligent youths coming up.
Is it the same youth as a particular president labeled as lazy youths?
No, you cannot put them collectively in one basket. Do you understand? There are very good youths that have very good dreams.
All right, thank you, Mr.
We need leadership guidance.
I can see that you are vibrating this morning. Yeah. You are actually ready to dissect the issues this morning. All right, we'll be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll continue with the newspaper review. This is Politics and Business Television. Stay tuned, please. All right, welcome back to the morning show here on Politics and Business Television in the city of Abuja. My name still remains Chidi Kenneth. And before we go into the issue, we still have other newspapers to dissect and look into. And I still have my brother and uncle here and friend and father, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, that has been doing a very fantastic job in analyzing the issues, bedeviling our society today and the world in general. Mr. Shaibu, we have other newspaper review. Now, I also need you to help me look at it. Okay, can we have them? Okay, we have the blueprint. What's the blueprint saying, Mr. Shaibu?
Qatar Energy, Saudi Aramco shut down. Gas price jumped 50%. Crude, 10%. All as a result of that thing that we have discussed.
Can you come again? Let's look at it.
Qatar Energy, Saudi Aramco shut down. Gas price jumps to 50% and crude to 10%.
Qatar shut down. Saudi Aramco. Aramco is one of the biggest oil producing companies in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia, yes, of course.
Shut down.
Yes, because the gas and the crude has to be transported. And for them to be transported, they have to pass through that canal, through that strait.
Okay.
You understand? And now, the more reason why they are having this problem is because allegedly they said Iran has bombed it, but Iran has denied that they did not bomb any Saudi Arabia facilities. So some people are saying probably it's a false flag sent by done by Israel so that they will pull Saudi Arabia into the war. They are looking for allies that can fight their fight. That is
and Saudi Arabia is not known for war.
Not Saudi Arabia. No, because they are touched now.
Okay.
And war is going out just in their next door.
Okay.
So you understand? If I'm living next door to you and you start now bombing my facilities, I have no option than to also retaliate.
A reprisal attack.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Brian. Don't you think that when Qatar shutting down and the Aramco oil well being attacked, don't you think that they will fall back to African oil countries with countries in Africa that have oil?
Of course,
like Nigeria. Hike high demands, and we, indigenous and citizens will be having issues, assessing this crude. Because now we have Qatar shut down, Saudi Arabia Aramco being affected. So what happens? Everybody falls back to Africa.
Other countries, Africa, Congo, all other countries that have.
So there will be pressure.
Yeah, I think, you see, war is not good, and nobody prays for war to continue. But there are countries that take advantages of war. I think this is an opportunity.
As big business.
Big business. This is an opportunity for Nigeria to come into the drawing table and think of how they can at least take advantage of this. Because oil price will rise up. And then countries will start looking up to countries that have oil, like Nigeria, like Democratic Republic of Congo. Like Angola, you see.
Okay. Gabon and the rest of them.
Gabon and the rest of them.
Does it have any effect on our downstream oil sector?
It does.
Are we expecting possible fuel hike?
Of course.
Somebody was telling me that we should get ready to buy fuel for 1,005.
I foresee a situation whereby the domestic supply is going to be very, very, very difficult for us, because now if the world,
there will be pressure on our crude.
Exactly, so that the domestic demand will go higher, and then the domestic supply will go lower. Because thank God that we have a facility like Dangote now, but even with that, I foresee a situation whereby the price of the fuel for domestic use will go higher. Yes.
Now Iran-US strike. Look at the possible effect everywhere, every sector, trying to shut down the economy, affecting us. So I think, like you said, it's time for us to look inward and begin to address it.
Yes.
I remember when the late President Muhammad Buhari was advising and encouraging us to go back to agriculture, and at some point he even said that we are more or less lazy youths. I think now with this latest development globally now, we'll begin to see the effect. And I'm sure we're going to learn lessons after this. Okay, let's see the next paper and let's see what we have there. Executive order. Okay.
Executive order on remittances. Edun panel swings into action.
Executive order on remittances.
Edun panel swings into action.
The executive order of the FAC, when they say all monies from the NNPC and some other sectors should be paid directly into the federal account. Because, the president did promise that the local government allocation will be increased to about 15 trillion so that the governors can get to the grassroots
and start working there.
Well, knowing fully well that the local governments are now autonomous. Right? So no longer dependent on the governors to, or the chairman to begin to go to the governor's cap in hand. This time around, you have your money directly, and the president is doing everything to mop up every resources into the federal account. What do you make of that?
I think when you look at it generally, the president has some great and wonderful policies, particularly as related to development. So you see, local government are not doing well because prior to now, most of their monies are being controlled, are being bottled by the governors in the state. There are states whereby the governor just allocate peanuts to the local government chairman, and local government has not attended them, so running away from the local government. There are local government chairmen that don't even go to the local government. They remain in the state capital because their people expect so much from them in terms of development, and they are not providing it.
Also, when a particular local government chairman is not in the good books of the governor.
Exactly. Or when you are in the opposition party, we still do that.
Yes,
we still do that. Even at the national level, there are situations where federal government will become very sticky and stingy towards governors that are not in their party and releasing funds and all that. So you see, now with this autonomy, I believe if monies can be released directly to the local government to do their work, we will have feelings of development in our local government.
So you're in support of the policy?
Of course. Every well-meaning Nigerians, with the concern of these people, we all come from various villages and local governments. That's why up to now, particularly in the north, you will go to your local government and see a school doesn't have a classroom that do not have roofs over them. Or even
government offices.
I
was privileged to serve in Zamfara, Mr. Ibrahim, to interest you know that I saw a lot of government buildings, no chair, no table, no nothing. I served
being vandalized.
Yes,
being allowed to decay.
There's no decay. No, exactly. It's not even there in the first place.
You see,
dilapidated buildings, structures everywhere. And I served in Zamfara State newspaper. I was the first cartoon columnist there, and I saw things for myself as a copper. And this calls for serious concerns and worry. And that is why now I think this policy of channeling all resources to the federal account, but Nupeng is kicking against it. What do you have to make of that? Nupeng is saying, no, it's not right, that everything to go to
federal Nupeng has no business to interfere in issues of governance as such. Do you understand? Particularly as related to allocating.
But they are a very strong body.
They are strong body, but at least they don't. In fact, I don't see any reason why they should involve themselves in this. You see, if monies do not reach to the local government chairman, you can never see development taking place. And then most of our youth, they are coming from the villages to the cities, because nothing is taking place in the villages. The villages are always located within the local government areas. There are no schools. There are no even youth development groups that are even train and motivate youth to do something necessary, because the government is not helping them. Fertilizers are not being supplied or even sold at very friendly prices for youth to go into farming in those local areas. So you understand?
Yes.
Hospitals are not being provided with medical facilities. Even ordinary paracetamol, you may hardly get it from all these local
healthcare centers.
Our healthcare centers in the local government.
No bed, no medicine.
And these are not deliberate things. These are not deliberately done. It is done. You are experiencing this because monies are not being released to the local government chairman to do this. Although we know the corruption part is also there, but at least if you allocate those monies to them, they will do certain amount of work for their people, even in order for them to be reelected in the next political dispensation. But there are no monies.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, now, if I'm to juxtapose what you are saying vis-a-vis the current global situation now, what do you make of it now? The government is saying, all monies from the NNPC and other sectors should be channeled to the federal account. And now we're having global challenges that is also most possibly biting around Africa, especially in Nigeria. Could I be correct to say that this policy is timely?
Yes, it is, provided it will be used judiciously. You can now see the situation whereby monies will be, even after all monies are being paid to the TSN account, budgets are being approved, and still some organizations have not been paid the money appropriated for them. There are situations like that in so many government ministries.
Like the alleged 1.5 trillion naira we're going to talk about, appropriated for a particular.
So directing all the monies, all remittances, making all remittances to the central account is one thing, and then making use of those funds for appropriate reasons is also another. You cannot put all monies together in one place and then fold your hand and then sit down. So that extent they will be asked to now explain about them or to account for them, and then you will be unable to do it. Okay. That is very important.
All right. Do we have any other newspaper? Let's see if we have any other paper to also look into and then see what we can talk about. Do you have another newspaper? Okay, that will be all for now. That's the last newspaper. But there's one other policy, Mr. Ibrahim, that the government is trying to introduce, the e-procurement policy, where everything will be done digitally. And that everything is going, the government is streamlining everything, making it look as if, yes, government is ready to be accountable. All monies must be, tracked, studied and monitored. Now the government said all money should be paid to federal account. Now we have the e-procurement. What do you think about this? How do you think about that e-procurement? Is it a good one? Is it something that is in line with the other policies?
Yes. No, you see, the world is going digital, and Nigeria should not be left behind. And for me, anything that's been digitalized, there's more transparency in it. You can be able to check it. You can be able to actually follow it and see what is actually happening. But then also there's tendency for somebody to hack that system somewhere. Especially Nigerians are gifted in that sense. So you understand? And then what bothers me,
we are gifted allegedly. I wouldn't want to assume allegedly. We are gifted in what allegedly.
Aside from that, I think it's also a very good thinking. But then again, that brings me to another thing. If you think you have the capacity to do e-procurement and successfully deliver it at that,
yes,
and we are still the ones that are saying we cannot be able to do electronic voting.
Mr. Ibrahim, the issue of electronic voting is raising a lot of dust and concerns right now.
So
as we speak, other opposition parties are already
should rise dust.
But some say we cannot even transmit in real time.
That is it. That is it. But anyway, I think I like it personally. I like it personally if it can be effectively coordinated.
It will reduce waste.
It will reduce wastage. It will reduce those who have those
bottlenecks
and those who have this criminal tendency. Do you
but
understand?
People will still find their way. A criminal,
but it will still reduce. It will still reduce certain things.
So it will reduce corruption
drastically. Honestly speaking,
you're so sure of that?
I'm so sure of that.
Okay.
My only concern is that they should have to be very careful to be able to protect it from being hacked. That's just it.
Okay, Mr. Brian, I think these policies are timely. Let me also lend my voice to what you just said. Timely in the sense that now we are about to face very stiff reality now. Knowing fully well that America, Europe, Asia, and America is at war now. Conflict everywhere. And from the newspapers we just saw, we are seeing projections of all kinds of economic downturn.
And expressions of fear.
Yes, expressions of fear. So I would be correct to say that the policy right now is timely. We need to mop up our resources. We need to be sure of where our money is going to. We need to also be sure how we generate those money. Because right now, pressure will be on our,
exactly, Nigeria particularly.
Yes, we're already exercising the fear now. You can see even drugs, one should be careful now. If you fall ill now, or you
have to be sure the kind of dose you're taking.
We have to start resorting to our native herbs if possible. And so I think this policy is timely for me. It is very, very timely. I want to commend the president and the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu for coming up with this. And like you said, we hope that it is going to be judiciously used.
Yes.
All right, we'll be going on a short break now. And when we return, we'll dive straight into the main issue for today. Still stay tuned. My name still remains Kenneth Chidi. And welcome once again to Politics and Business Television. Stay tuned. Welcome back once again to P&B Morning Show here in the city of Abuja. All right, my name is Chidi Kenneth, and we are diving straight into the main issue today. And we have two topics to discuss, and I have my colleague here, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu. You're welcome once more.
Thank you, Mr. Chidi.
And I'm sure, Mr. Shaibu, now this is the time we are going to really talk about this serious issue. The first issue facing us here is the U.S. strike on Iran. The question is being asked, is it the beginning of the third war? The Third World War, WW3. Is it the Third World War? The last time we had the World War was in 1947, which is the Second World War. And that was when the invention of the gun, the popular rifle called the AK-47, and as Alexander Kalashnikov was manufactured.
WW1.
Yes. Yes. So now we are being faced with a possible Third World War. So there's this question: the U.S. strike on Iran, is it the beginning of the World War III?
Well, you see, I see this conflict more as a struggle.
Struggle for supremacy?
For supremacy, and then struggle for resources as well. Iran is an oil country. It's an oil-rich country. And then for ages, Israel has looked upon Israel as the greatest, as its arch enemy, number one. There is this fear expressed by Israel that if at all any country can be able to challenge it, militarily or otherwise, within that region, is Iran. That is why for years, they are at loggerheads with one another. And we know that USA has always been an ally of Israel in everything, not only in defense, but also in economic matters. So for us to now jump conclusively to say that what is happening in the Middle East now is signs for the possible World War III, I don't think it is so. Because world wars signify an idea of the whole world being involved in wars.
In agreement.
In different fronts. You understand? Maybe wars taking place in Asia, wars taking place in Africa, wars taking place all over the world.
But some say
there are indications that if allowed to escalate beyond what we have now,
it can
regenerate to something more serious, still not civil, not
if it's not properly managed.
Yes, because each side has its own allies. For example, Iran had Russia, China, South Korea, and to some extent even Pakistan. All of these ones are nuclear powers, except for.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Russia is a strong ally of Iran?
Of course, it's very strong ally, very, very strong ally of Iran.
Okay.
And so is China, so is South Korea, and so is Pakistan to some extent. And apart from Iran itself, all these three are nuclear powers. Then Israel, on the other hand, had the support of the mighty and great USA and most European.
France and Britain?
Yes. France, Britain, Germany.
And Spain?
No, Spain. Not traditionally, yes. But in this particular conflict, Spain has divorced itself from it. And so also is Britain.
Okay.
So most of the EU countries are now part of the Allied forces, while Iran is on its own. You understand? But then it also has its allies. When this war continues unabated, when both sides refuse to come to the negotiating table, then there are possibilities that this war will escalate. And the escalation of this war itself will have a global effect on global economy.
As we are seeing already.
Yes, ripple effect on global economy. And some countries are beginning to feel it already. There are countries that are beginning to feel it already. Because without oil, everything stops.
Okay, some say that in 1976, before the Ayatollah took over from the former leader of Iran, that Iran has always been on the had a very good relationship with the US and the Britain. But after the emergence of Ayatollah Ali, that the relationship went south.
Exactly.
What happened? Do you have any idea of what led to? Is it that the Ayatollah came with some policies and some ideas that is not comfortable with world powers like US and some other countries?
Exactly, because in those times, during Shah Reza Pahlavi's monarchy, all American interests are being protected. When you go to Tehran, when you are in the street of Tehran, it's almost as if you are in the street of New York. Exactly, because everything modern and American are being done in the country of Iran. And Iran is one of the greatest, strongest Islamic countries. Shiite Islam is totally different from Sunni Islam.
There are a lot of prohibitions.
They hold so dearly to the principle of Islam, unlike the Sunnis. You understand? They are the only countries that told the world bluntly that we are going to be an Islamic republic. Energy. Iran protected American energy requirement throughout the period. Most of the American companies are there in Iran in those periods.
Okay.
So the ulamas at that time in Iran, they didn't feel it good. So they started now set that revolution. Ayatollah Khomeini, there's difference between that one. That one is Khomeini, K-H-O. But the present one is Khamenei, K-H-A. Ayatollah Khomeini saw the need to create the revolution even while he was in exile in France.
Alant is in Germany now, I don't know.
No, he died.
He's still in France?
He died. Ayatollah Khomeini, the father of the revolution itself.
Yes.
The one that was responsible for toppling the Shah's regime.
Yes, you're correct.
In 1979. Yes, he died. So, but when he was conducting the revolution, he was in France, not even within Iran. That 1979 revolution was planned, executed while he was in France. So Americans were not happy with that. And then since that time, they were trying to make sure that that family of Reza Pahlavi have been enthroned on power, because so that their interest, their economic interest will be protected. They have oil. And before now, most of the oil facilities, oil companies in American were American companies. So I think that is one of the reasons too, besides the interest they have in Israel.
Okay, besides the interest they have in Israel. And now looking at it now, I don't know, will Israel, do you think Israel will possibly join America in this whole strike?
Israel?
Yes.
Of course, Israel has been retaliating. Israel is known to fight strong too. Even during the 12-day war, Israel has passed. The actual fight was between Israel and Iran. You know, there are some analysts that were saying the arrangement was that America will strike. But then Netanyahu went behind the door and then struck. It wasn't America that struck. The plan was for America to strike. But then Netanyahu went ahead and struck. So by force, it just pulled America into the war by force. And
America never had intentions of striking.
Exactly. Trump was always saying, let's negotiate. He has given all possible chances for Iran to participate in negotiation. And even, according to some analysts, even Iran was at a certain point trying to reason whether or not to participate in the discussion, in the agreement discussion. Then Israel struck. You know, even the 12-day war, Israel just struck unexpectedly out of the blues when discussions were being gone.
When the peace talk was
going on.
So even Israel provoked the whole thing?
Exactly. They always do. They always did. So I think this war is about time that both parties see reason to come together, sit down and negotiate. At least, even if there's nothing, Iran has shown to the world that it's a strong country.
Yes,
it can face its enemies. But then fighting this war for longer than necessary is putting their citizens into unforetold hardship and even the world in general. And this is very, very unlike them. Because they are, yes.
Some are saying that Iran has shown that they have a very good structure, in the sense that even after the death of Ayatollah Ali, that some of his followers were still standing firm to, still
if you have
launch a reprisal attack. It shows that they are very structured.
Of course, they are well structured. It is a complete system. The Iranian hierarchy is something that is unlike any other countries. Even if you see citizens revolting against a government, the moment you touch their leader, they will now rally around that leader. So you understand? That was why, the intention of Trump was to destabilize things and then allow the opposition parties within Iran to be able to take power governance. That's why he said, we have done the needful, take over your government. He said that almost 3 or 4 times in his broadcast. So it was very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate for him and then fortunate for the Iranians that there was no any organized opposition within Iran at the time that the strike was made.
Okay. Now, what do you say? What do you make of this? Is there any possible economic effect on China, knowing fully well that China and Iran has a very strong business bilateral agreements and dealings?
Yes, there might have been, but China is always prepared. China has other means of getting her resources, her oil elsewhere in the world. But Iran had been its major supplier.
So now with this
and then because China knew that this war may possibly happen, it has already prepared itself. So although it may affect it, it may not affect it the way other people are looking at it.
Even at then America is also, last year December we saw America, striking some parts of Nigeria, Sokoto. Some people will say, okay, that America seems to be, diving into areas that are of interest to China. Indirectly. I was discussing with a friend yesterday who is also an analyst, and he said that what America is trying to do, even in Venezuela, the removal of the president of Venezuela, is that America is trying to, reduce the strength of China in some areas because China is becoming very powerful, allegedly.
That's very true.
And that is why you see American, they come with a particular brand, allegedly, and say, okay, this is what this president is doing. At the end of the day, the underground reasons why they are doing it is to protect the dollarization, the strength of the American economy.
I agree with you. The establishment of BRIC in itself is a threat to American supremacy. It's a threat to
economic supremacy.
Exactly. The formation of BRIC is actually intended to weaken the strength of the dollar. And America controlled the world because of 2 things. Dollars. Because of one thing, dollar. The whole world uses dollar. And dollar is closely tied to oil. America,
as a means of exchange at international markets.
Exactly. America knew it cannot face China directly in war. So it has to do, the only thing it can do that is to control energy. China depends largely on energy, particularly oil. Without oil, China cannot function. And America knew that China has a lot of allies that are supplying it oil. So since I cannot fight him, since I cannot fight you, I have to find your weakness. So that's exactly what America has been doing. And that is why even though some people look at Trump somehow, I look at Trump as a very intelligent person.
And a businessman.
He knew where to hit to get you feel the heat. So I think it's true. Yes, America is just looking for wherever China's
talking about Trump. Some say that Trump is not playing politics. And what Trump is after is let things be done the right way. He said he's not comfortable with certain approaches used by certain countries over other countries. For example, one of my friend, the analyst yesterday, said something to me when I was discussing with him. He said that that whether we like it or not, that the insurgency or whatever we call it, the banditry or whatever going on in the north is artificial, is masterminded for some economic gains, and that Trump seems not to be happy with it. Allegedly, that is what he said. I said that word allegedly, and that is why Trump had to send some form of warning and send troops to Nigeria, not because of anything, but to address certain things that are going on. And, distracting Nigerians using banditries and the rest of them, allegedly, according to him. And he felt that Trump is not comfortable with the way and manners certain countries go about doing things.
If there's one country in the world that doesn't do things the right way, it's US. But especially during Donald Trump's administration.
But he's still there.
How can you go to a sovereign country and kidnap its president? How can you come to a country like Nigeria and then send troops just like that because you are president of the greatest country, strongest country?
Don't you think he has the support of the federal government to do that?
Even this war he's fighting, he's fighting this war against the adverse of his general, American general. He's fighting this war against the interests of the majority of the United States citizens. He's fighting this war even against the Constitution of the United States, because a president has no right, American president has no right to go into war without the permission of the Congress. The Congress did not say go to war on our behalf or on the American citizens' behalf.
But the Republicans are known for war.
Well, even the Republicans are not in support. Many of the Republicans are not in support of this war.
Okay.
The most important thing is that president in America, president cannot go into a war without the approval of the Senate. That's what I'm telling you.
So are you saying Trump is
on
his own now?
He's on his own. I'm telling you, it's illegal. This war to the American government and people is illegal. I'm telling you.
But the way the Americans are wired, the Americans will always stand to the glory of America. Everything is to the glory of America. Don't you think at the long run that everybody was going to fall in line with the
Americans are the greatest advocate of democracy. And democracy is
civilized democracy.
Democracy is closely tied to the constitution of a country. The constitution says, don't do it, you shouldn't do it as a leader. So no matter how allegiance you will show to your constitution, to your country, your love and commitment and loyalty to your country must be based within the framework of the constitution, especially when you are the president of that country.
Okay, what if at the end of the day this turns out to become the long anticipated, long expected, long feared Third World War? What will it become of Africa? Looking at it already, it has not been declared officially as the Third World War, but from the pages of our newspaper, we're beginning to see expressions of fear in all aspects.
And signs.
And signs,
yes.
So if it eventually turns out to become so, WW3, that is the World War III, what will become of Africa?
Honestly, Africa will be the worst hit.
Economically?
In any situation. Economically, because already, apart from oil, we don't sell much to the other part of the world. And already in Nigeria here, you know that because of this insurgency and bandit activities and Boko Haram insurgency and other things, even people in the villages no longer go to farms. So we cannot even be able to feed ourselves. We cannot even be able to import foodstuff as just like the
food security.
There wouldn't be any food security. Even medicine. We know that 40 to 50% of the medicine manufactured in Nigeria are fake. That's why all the time one of the most business one of the most business organizations in Nigeria is NAFDAC. Always going all over the place looking for people that manufacture fake drugs. So you understand, even though we cannot be able to manufacture, and considering our population, how many genuine drug companies we have in Nigeria? So we always import, especially from India and some.
At some point, we were importing tomatoes.
Even tomato paste. You can imagine that. So it will be the most hit. I said most hit because even if this thing will continue for another year or two, if we can be allowed to farm, things would have been okay. We'll have alternative. We can think of an alternative to using to use all manure is what do you call it? That shit cow dung manure. Even if it's not
the cattle dung.
Yes, our farmers are creative. When in a situation whereby there are bandits and Boko Haram all over the place. You cannot even go to farm. And then the world will now put eyes on our resources, on our oil, to the extent that
there will be pressure on our oil.
60 or 70% of the oil not being exported to countries.
But don't you think that will be an addition in terms of
revenue will be generated? But when you generate revenue, how does the revenue now spill down to the ordinary Nigerian?
When
we are just hearing
when there is no resources to buy.
Exactly, when there's no resources to buy.
So when too much resources chase after limited resources, inflation will rise.
That is it.
So we're likely to begin to buy things very expensive because we don't even manufacture ourselves.
We don't even manufacture them. See, who is the most unpleasant thing to happen anywhere in the world? And when giants are fighting, there's this proverb that says when two elephants are fighting,
the grass will suffer.
Grass suffers. When countries like US, countries like Iran are fighting, and when countries like China and countries like Russia have interest in that fight, the world must suffer. Other countries must feel the pain.
Other countries, and these are countries that are known to be world powers in economy, world powers in every aspect.
Yes,
of
and international
life.
trade is now linked to one another. All countries are interlinked together now. It's a network of commerce and industry taking place all over the world. So with this war, so many economies will cripple.
So what lessons?
So many countries will go. So many citizens will go hungry.
What lessons are we going to take to Africa? What advice do you have for Africans or Nigerians?
Let's start to think inward. Let's look at ourselves and see what can we do to ourselves, even before the situation becomes very, very unpleasant.
Let's brace up.
Let's brace up
and begin to look inward.
Let's try to think of ways that we can take care of.
We can harness our internal God-given
potentials.
Exactly.
Let's encourage youth. I still have faith and confidence in our youth. I know, like you said, most of them are not serious and lazy at that, but they are very intelligent youth. We have them in large numbers, and we have the very intelligent ones among them. And then they are also hardworking. I said hardworking because look at it now. The government cannot be able to employ even up to 10% of the graduates of this country. And every year, our universities, both private and public, are graduating students in hundreds of thousands, I think in millions. But there's no government jobs. There's not even private sector jobs.
Last year, they called to buy, I witnessed the call to buy, and we have about 7,000 lawyers.
7,000 lawyers. And this, you can
that is law alone.
And despite that, you can still see our youth working hard in small entrepreneurship. All those ones that are giving us bad name, what percentage of our youth? The drug peddlers are how many of what percentage of our youth? People that do all this cultism is what percentage of our youth? So the ones
the internet fraud stars.
How many of them are doing also that? So I believe about 70 to 80% of our youth can be relied upon to do the right thing when the need arises. And it's about time now the government will think about how to utilize this youth and see the kind of help it can genuinely, honestly, sincerely give those youth. Because before now, government will promise hell and heaven, earth and heaven to those youth, and then nothing will come to them. All manner of intervention the government will allow all manner of intervention, and then nothing comes to those youth. Only about 2 to 3% of youth will now enjoy this.
Now, I'm talking about the youth and comparing it side by side with what we are expecting. Looking at the looming war between Iraq and USA. What do you think? Don't you think that this crime is going to increase in our country? Looking at right now, some parts of our economy is looking a little bit good. Now, with this anticipated fear looming all around the atmosphere now, don't you think it's going to trickle down to the hike in crime?
I think so. Yes, there's possibility for that happening. Of course,
the youth will turn to more, into more crimes and rest
of course, there's possibility of this happening because when people are hungry, they'll be pressured to do the unexpected. But already we have a lot of crimes going on.
There's hunger already.
There's hunger already.
Now with this looming problem,
will now make the situation even worse. So I'm looking at the situation.
We're in for a big drama.
Exactly. God forbid. I'm looking at a situation whereby people will start breaking people's shop or people's houses in the middle of the night. If not for anything, to just take their food stuff and go away. That's the least of it. So we just hope. That's why I always keep emphasizing and say that we hope and pray that things are resolved between these giants.
I don't think as of last night, I don't think the US has sent any reprisal attack yet. I don't know.
That's good news.
And the US has not sent any reprisal. Well, we still hear that Iran is expressing their grievances by bombing one or two places and the rest of them.
It's about time the Iranians stop.
And I think I would like to appeal to them to also cease fire.
Yeah,
the US is yet to, from what I gathered last night before I went to bed, that the US is yet to, reply or by way of
they are doing the right thing. Strength. But, they are doing some people are even saying, why should Iraq? Like I had is it Bulgarian, one of these EU member presidents, saying that Iran has no right bombing its neighbors. But yes. But why? You are fighting me. You are attacking me. I have to protect myself.
But what's the concern of the neighbors? What's the business of Saudi Arabia and the rest of them?
There are American bases. America cannot strike Iran right from America, right from Pentagon. But it's going to come and land in Iran. So that is why America has bases all around the world. All around the world. And that is why now it is even having base in Nigeria. So that anytime any African country wants to tamper with its interests, it will use that base to strike. That's the essence of having American military bases all over the world. And all those bases were essentially put in place to protect
American interest.
No. Israel first. Israel first. And then American interest second.
Israel first. Why Israel first?
Yes, of course. Because America see Israel's location in the center or around Arab countries is volatile. Do you understand? That is why America was able to make all those Gulf states to be its friends and allies, and also friends and allies to Israel, so that those bases can be located where it can be able to attack Iran when or if the need arises. So, and that's exactly what is doing.
Of what importance is Israel to America as a nation? Some say that the Americans are most of the big boys, what I call the big boys in US, those who control the economy of the United States of the Jewish extraction. Would I be correct to say so?
Exactly. I saw a write-up somewhere, and I was surprised that time that most of the committees in American Senate, important and useful committees that are tied to the economy and defense, have American Jews as chairman. Most secretaries in America, when they say secretary, they mean minister of key parastatals that matters in America are Jewish and American Jews.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Most companies in this world, the KFCs, the YY, the Coca-Colas, all those companies, either pharmaceutical or whatever, they belong to the Jews.
Even the IT,
most IT organizations. Yes.
So the Jewish people have controls most of the
the American the
businesses
Jewish lobby group in America is very, very deep. So they essentially control what happens to America.
So that also explains why America seems to be head heel over their interests, trying to protect the Israelites too.
Exactly. And there's always been so.
These are all international politics.
Of course, it's geopolitical.
Yes, geopolitical. And we can see, and I hope Africa is also learning, because we try to establish free trade, commerce within the African region, especially the West African region. I don't think it's functional.
I think it is, because I have a couple of cousins and other people that are doing this trade, taking things between Nigeria to Mali and then it is free. There are no exorbitant charges along the borderlines. And sometimes you don't even need to show any papers, it will just pass. Exactly like that. Taking goods and merchandise between countries.
Okay, I think I advise we to intensify on that, looking fully aware that we are being faced with some form of economic threat and pressure. Exactly. All right, thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. We'll be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll go straight to the second topic of the day. Please stay tuned. Once again, this is Politics and Business Television. All right, welcome to Politics and Business Television. This is the morning show here in the city of Abuja. My name is Kenneth Chidi, and I'm still here with my friend and brother and uncle, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu. All right, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, we are going straight to the second topic. Before then, the scene of the House of Representatives Appropriation Committee hearing last week, Wednesday, February 25th, was tense, dramatic, and defined by one man's relentless pursuit of answers. He is Honorable Alex Mascot, a member representing Aban North, Aba South Federal Constituency, and a key member of the AIDS and Loans Committee. And he was responsible for, digging deep and, finding out what has turned out to be a very serious issue today in Nigeria. That is the missing 1.5 trillion naira capital fund appropriated for a particular project. And at the end of the day, we got to discover that 0 naira was disbursed. Now, Mr. Shaibu Ibrahim, I want to ask the question, what went wrong? Where is our 1.5 billion naira allocated? Mr. Ibrahim, do you know where that money is?
How can I know?
I'm sure you should be aware.
I'm not aware.
So what do you think of this?
I can't know what went wrong because even the minister has a response that should have served as a custodian of those funds says he doesn't know.
That's the Minister of Finance.
The Minister of Finance. So I think this is a very embarrassing situation anyway, because these are monies meant for capital project. The National Assembly has approved those monies. Then once monies have been appropriated and approved, the next thing that should be done is, even in installment, make disbursement.
Actually, to a level.
To a level, so that those projects can be carried out wherever they are. But a situation whereby monies will be approved and not appropriated and then approved and then not being disturbed, there's so much.
We're talking about zero disbursement.
Exactly. So it speaks so much about our leadership, our people in the position of leadership in this country. Because I would have been ashamed to even come to the Senate and sit down and then display my face for members to be asking me, where are those monies? In the first place, I know that I have to be accountable for those monies. And at a certain point in time, I have to at least state what those money are being used for. It should be at the back of my head that one day I'll be called to account as a minister, somebody who is being given, authorized as a custodian of those funds.
But there's a saying that goes that follow the money, you will know where. Follow the money, you will know the person that stole the money. Where is the role of the anti-graft agencies, the EFCCs and the ICPC in this matter? 1.5 trillion naira is a whole lot of money that we will not just
allow. The ICPC and the EFCC has no business trying to follow where money is for now, because as far at the moment monies are being appropriated and then approved, it is now left for the minister to start disbursing those monies to the appropriate ministries. Do you understand? So, and ministries don't request for those monies at once. Probably in my ministry, there are about 5 or 6 different projects for which I've already included it in my budget when I was sending my budget to the federal government. So you understand? Maybe I will start the first quarter with construction of road, 200 kilometers road from Soso place to Soso place. And that money maybe is 300 million naira. You understand? So I will first, I know the budget provision made for my ministry is maybe 1 billion.
Okay.
So I would say I will now write a memo requesting this 300 million naira to start executing my first project.
Okay.
So out of the 1 billion naira allocated for my budget in my ministry, I want 300 naira to start implementing that project. So then the commission, the minister will now approve, and then monies will be disbursed to me for me to carry out that project. Then along the way, if another need arises for me to request another fund out of my budget, I will now write and then request for another fund until I exhaust all the monies being allocated to me as I requested in my budget, the budget that I sent to the presidency.
But in this case, we're told that 0 naira
was
disbursed.
Exactly.
And you are saying that there is no need for the EFCC anti-graft agencies to wait.
Now that these things have come,
it was not disbursed, where did they go to?
What I meant
where is this sitting?
What I meant by the EFCC should not come in is that the EFCC should only come in when alarms are raised. Like now, alarms are being raised, isn't it?
A serious alarm.
Yes, serious alarm is being raised. So now it has been adjourned that the minister will now bring the Minister of State to come and make explanation. If the explanation they offer is not satisfactory, then at that point,
the anti-graft
agency may come in. But for now, let's give them the benefit of doubt. Let's see what they can do between now and I think, is it March 25th or February 25th?
Yes.
Okay, when the hearing will continue. But it's very embarrassing situation, honestly.
Very embarrassing situation, honestly. Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, if I may also ask, looking at the Honorable Alex Mascot, Ikegwaga, that is a member representing the Aba North and Aba South Federal Constituency, and is a key member of the AIDS and Loans Committee. What you have to make about his resilience? What encouragement or advice you have for other honorables? Now, I know we were told that this man was head bent on pursuing this matter. He's not the only member of that house.
500 for digital infrastructure and also $500 million for economic stimulus here. And also another 500 in December 2025 was approved for MSMEs. Another $500 million was approved, was given by the African Development Bank sometime in November 26th. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, 25. That's November 26, 2025. Was approved for economic governance and energy transition support program. Correct me if I'm wrong. I also remember that not too long ago, because I'm also a member of the AIDS and Loans Committee, another request was sent by the executive to the parliament to approve, correct me if I'm wrong, $21 million, 15 billion yen, and 4 billion euros, correct me if I'm wrong. With all these funds put together, with all the funds that these revenue generating agencies raise for this nation, I would like you to enlighten us on why the 2024 budget is yet to be fully implemented. And on why, hold on please. I want you to enlighten us on why the 2024 budget is yet to be fully implemented, and on why the 2025 budget has only been funded 34%. Most of which, hold on, please. Honorable members, Chairman, am I protected? Yes. Chairman, am I protected, sir? Now, from my understanding, from your submission, because we do not have the documents to be able to fully speak to it, but what I hear you say very categorically is that it is only recurrent expenditure that has been touched. I want you to enlighten us on why our capital projects still remains at zero. No, I'm talking about our country. This is our country. Are you not in Nigeria? Why the capital of the Nigerian government remains at zero in 2026. I'm talking about 2025 as we carry over to 2026 with all the payments that has been paid into the federal government coffers. I want you to also enlighten us, because I know that you're older than me, I'm almost 50. If this country, since its creation, has ever had
Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, you heard that.
Exactly. Serious.
That was a very strong presentation there from Mr. Alex Mascot. You can see the figures reading out there. At some point, I was looking at your face and I saw that.
I wanted to cry.
You wanted to cry?
I was hoping the camera caught my face.
You can almost see the kind of resources being generated by this country.
Honestly.
And we still go ahead to take loans.
See, First of all, I have to commend the leadership qualities, the sacrifice, the determination of this young House member. This shows how serious and committed he is.
Honorable Alex.
Alex, this shows how much love he has for his country and its people.
Fearless.
Because for somebody to try to challenge the status quo and come up with these things, to ask questions, where are our monies? He deserves commendation. Do you know this money is just 30% of monies approved for 2025 capital project funds? 2025, not 2026.
He said the budget was barely funded.
And then
25 budget was barely funded, just 34%.
34%. And even that 34%,
and 2024 has not,
let me bust your bubble.
Has not even been completed.
Let me bust your bubble. That 34% is just recurrent. It's just recurrent.
Recurrent
expenditure.
No.
You know, recurrent expenditures means money that will take care of salaries
and the rest of them.
Stationaries, running office equipment, all that. But the ones for capital projects, the big monies that are meant for execution of projects.
Zero.
That reminds me of the Minister of Health just last month saying that of the 280-something billion naira allocated for him, for his ministry, only 36 million. Is that not insulting? Have been disbursed to him. What is he expected to do in the Ministry of Health? What is he expected to do with 36 million? Million. M-I-L-L-I-O-N. 280-something billion have been approved.
And we're hearing
this is not up to 0.0001%.
INEC is demanding for 1.3 trillion naira to conduct elections. And here we are. You understand? Here we are. We have capital projects being allocated 0 naira.
To be honest with you, Chidiba, it's insulting for a national minister to come and sit down in front of the members of the House of Representatives and start asking and start saying that I do not know, I cannot account for monies. Do you know he's doing 3 things here? He's either telling the House Committee that you are foolish, and he's also telling Nigerians that
as a minister, federal minister,
that's indirectly what he's telling Nigerians. And then he's telling Nigerians that
he's not in charge.
I'm not in charge, I'm irresponsible. He's just telling us how irresponsible he can be. 1.15 trillion is a huge amount of money. You know, when you withhold this money from the public, so many things happen. It means road not being constructed or maintained.
Contractors are not being paid.
It means, because let's talk about the project themselves.
We have contractors that are there.
Hey,
Mr. Shaik, we have a lot of contractors that have worked as long as 2024, 2023.
They're not being paid.
They're not being paid.
It means hospitals are not being paid.
Their children are all out of school.
Exactly.
A lot of things going on. And this, this trickles down to, do you know what 1.5 trillion naira is?
It will be a hell out of things, I'm telling you. And one man to whom all those monies have been entrusted is telling Nigerians, a country of 200-something million, you are telling them that they are 1.something trillion naira, you cannot account for them after they entrusted it to you.
So should I be correct to say that this is one of the reasons why Bengasin is exercising fears that all monies from the NPC should be paid directly into the federal account? And a custodian of such federal account by the person of the Minister of Finance allegedly is coming to say he doesn't allegedly know what happened to that money. 1.5 trillion naira is not the kind of money that one can say it cannot be explained to. And we are looking at, even right here in Abuja, we have schools, primary schools that don't even have table and chairs.
Exactly.
So what are we doing with this money?
And then where is it sitting? The youth are not being employed, because once you allow those projects to go on, so many youth will be employed. We have employment opportunities to go and do something. And then when youth are not employed, they do a lot of shit all over the place.
Crime rate.
Because if to say those monies have been released, so many youth will now be finding one thing or the other, doing under one construction company or the other, because those monies are meant for road projects and so many other things like that.
And you see, this trickles down to our elections. You see, some of this money, at the end of the day, you see politicians coming back to give you money to vote for them, give you money to do this, and you begin to wonder. Why am I going to vote this person?
There are people that believe those monies are not being. There are people. There is group of people that I think that is not even surprising, because these are the monies that will end up in the pocket of politicians, and these are the monies that will be used to dictate how the election goes around, how the election is being run. So you understand? Because you can see now, when the House member was talking, there are other people that are telling him to stop. Why would they ask him to stop?
Off the mic.
Exactly.
But some at the background, you can hear some of them at the background also stirring up to continue to talk.
Yes, exactly.
And that was why he said, am I protected?
Yes. So you can see the kind of people we have in sensitive position in this country.
But he's not the only honorable in that committee. Why comes others are not speaking out?
You know, sometimes when you see something like that happen, they might have sat down certain groups, him and some people will like mine with him. Maybe 3 or 4 of them will notice this and say, look, oh, let's take care of this thing. Then he will now take the responsibility to say, okay, let me be the speaker. I don't believe he's the only one, because you can see that some other people are trying to stop him from reading, and there are other people that say, no, allow him to continue. Sure, understand what I'm saying? It's not all of them that are bad. Sure, understand?
We still have the good ones.
We still have the good ones. And I hope we'll reach a situation whereby in this country, a greater majority of the people that we elect or vote into positions are people like this. People that will be able to stand up for our cause. People that will be able to stand up and talk on our behalf. People that will be able to take care of the Nigerian interests of the Nigerian citizen. So you understand? Not people that after voting them, you cannot even see them within the constituency till almost 1 year to the next election, something. Not people that you end up with their money in America or Russia, elsewhere in the world. Huh. So I think I really commend this guy, and I really like his boldness and the calm way in which he now present his observations.
Okay, looking at his boldness, and then this kind of resources missing at this critical time when we are being faced by possible economic hardship as a result of the Iran-US
conflict
that is possibly posing it, some economic threat to us, as we can see the front pages of our newspapers. And monies like this is missing, whereas we're supposed to be keeping monies like this to also to spin the internal economic activities of the country. And here we are hearing one point. Who knows how much has been missing?
Exactly.
Who knows how much has been missing before now? And this is becoming a recurrent, event in our country. When are we going to likely stop this whole thing? When are we going to stop hearing these billions, trillions of naira missing? When are we going to stop it? What do you think we can do better to ensure that this corruption, because we cannot be having issues like this. We have different kinds of anti-graft.
Well, it's easy. It's easy to reach that stage.
What is lacking there? What is lacking there?
What is lacking is our ability as electorate to vote the right people to positions.
But our votes don't count somehow, allegedly.
No, we have to stand.
We've seen the last elections. We've seen manipulations of results and the cancellation of results, and somebody's pronounced the winner.
We can still do this. We are not a country of eunuch. We are not a country of imbeciles. There was a time when we did that. There was a time when we contributed money for Buhari to contest, and more than 60% of Nigerians rally around him and then voted for him. We can repeat that scenario. We first identify the right person for the job, irrespective of religion, irrespective of region, irrespective of political party affiliation. Let's identify the right person first. Then after that, let's not look at what has he got to offer to us individually. Is it the 5,000 naira at the point of voting? Is it the, what do you call it, this package they give during elections?
10 kg of rice.
10 kgs of rice. No.
Palliative.
Let's just say we don't want anything from you right now. What we want from you is go here and take care of the country for us. Do the right thing. Let's see. Create a Nigeria whereby youth can be employed.
But is it possible to achieve this, sorry, Mr. Ibrahim, with the way poverty has been weaponized in Nigeria today?
No,
in some parts of Nigeria, poverty has been weaponized.
It takes courage and determination. When other people are struggling, when other people are agitating for change in their government, when other people are taking their country to their hands and then ensuring that they vote the right people into positions, Nigerians are way smarter. Nigeria is one of the countries that has one of the most smartest people around the world. Even in Europe, so many companies in Europe are utilizing Nigerians. Even in America, there are so many intelligent Nigerians around. We can do this. What we need now is to stop thinking about regions and religion, because this is what is actually pulling us back. Once we agree that we know in the north there are candidate A, B, C, in the south there are candidate A, B, C, let's bring them together. Let's see who deserve to be in this position for now. Let's close our eyes over his religion or where he's coming from. Let's see Is he the right candidate for that?
Before I go to religion and the tribal sentiments in our Nigerian politics, what effect is this going to have? Looking at in the development of this country, looking at the fact that this money was supposed to be meant for capital projects. How come we are servicing recurrent? No issues with recurrent because salaries need to be paid and all whatnot.
Stationaries have to be bought.
Yes.
ACs have to be refilled.
Chairs and the rest of them, vehicles, convoys, and the rest of them need to be replaced.
While
even when some of them are still in good shape.
Exactly.
Now, what effect is it going to have on our, the development of this country? Looking at the fact that this money was supposed to be disposed for capital.
Development will be stalled. Development will be stalled, and then it will have a ripple effect on the behavior of our youth in the society. Because
the youth will turn to crime.
Implementation of capital projects always ensures that youth are being employed to work in the fields, in the sites. And this project is taking place all over the country. So at least you drag a certain percentage, a very strong and able youth into the field working. Then again,
keeping them busy.
Then part of this money, I think, is meant for IT something. I think I read this somewhere. Almost 1.something billion, 2.something billion is also meant for those who are now the youth drive the IT industry in Nigeria. And another certain section of Nigeria will be now pulled into it. So you understand. But you sat on the money.
You sat on the money. Somebody sits on the money. The money is nowhere to be found.
If it is not, why has it not been
disbursed? So it's not been disbursed, meaning it could be sitting somewhere.
It could, of course, obviously.
But the minister has come to say, like you rightly said before, allegedly, like he doesn't know where the money is.
He has to explain. This is part of the responsibility.
So the money is either sitting.
Responsibility.
The money is either sitting down or disbursed. So where is the money?
I cannot say, but he has to come and explain. And I like it that the meeting, the hearing has been adjourned at, I think, 26th of this month or something like that.
To enable him tell us where the money is.
Exactly. He has to explain. He was pushing. How can a minister push the right to explain to his state minister? Nothing can take place without your involvement as a senior minister. Whatever happens to that money, you are in the full know of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? No shishi can be taken out of that amount of money, trillion, without you knowing it. And this just tells us, this just open another kind of worms that there might have been other monies that are still being sitting idle, but has ended up allegedly in some other people's account or pockets. This is just the one that has come into the fore.
Such kind of money cannot move without the consent and knowledge of the minister.
Do you know how this money are put together? The government has been telling us that it is making remarkable revenue generation
from the removal of subsidy.
From the removal of subsidy, taxes are being paid. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has now generated huge amount of revenues for the country
through tax.
And then loans were taken in billions. I think the last one was about $12 billion US. The last one.
That's some huge.
Is it yuan? Is it yen or dollars? That was the last one actually.
I think it's yen or something.
Yes. So all this money have been borrowed. All these resources, all these internally generated revenues have been put together just to raise 30% of the capital project fund. And now you're telling us that you don't even know what happened to it, that the junior minister can replace us.
And we have yet to even
this is embarrassing.
Fully fund the 2024 budget.
It's insult to the Nigerian population. A country of 230 million, you are telling them that you cannot account for monies entrusted to you as a minister of finance. Who does that?
Don't you think in a sense claim that some minister should be asked to step aside?
It means more than step aside. After stepping aside, you will be prosecuted. Unless and until you explain where the monies are. And then nobody should have been above the law. But for now, we should not preempt. Let's see what they are going to say. I advise him to sit down with his state minister, go back to their books and check and see what happens to those money. I read somewhere that I think the Minister of State said that the monies are there, the true monies have been approved, and then what stopped them from disbursement is because there are certain procedures that have not been met by the ministries to make the disbursement possible. There are certain signatures that have not been made, and there are certain pre-disbursement conditions that have not been made. That was why the monies have not been made. Then he should as well tell us what did they do to make the ministries to comply with the conditions. As a ministry, you should now call.
Who was saying this? The Minister of State?
The Minister of State was
saying
that.
And the question I'm going to ask the Minister of State, if he's listening to me now, is that if this is what the situation as it were, what happens to the 2024 budget not fully funded?
Exactly.
And what happens to 34% of the budget in 2025?
Yes.
Still, deficit.
And I believe also that.
So if you are saying that there are some, bureaucracies and some documentations and bottlenecks in the documentations that has not been completed, and instead of that, the money has not been disbursed. Why are we having just 34%?
Exactly.
Being even up to 2024.
She should even tell us which ministry have not completed have not made the condition for
they should list them out.
They should list them out. Then now we know. We will tell Nigerians that look, Minister so and Minister so are the ones that are holding your development in check. Because they do not meet the condition for the dismantling.
That will give us the opportunity to hold our ministers accountable.
Unless
the residents are appointees. They are there to serve the people.
Unless they do that, they are insulting Nigerians. They are insulting the House committees and they are insulting Nigerians by telling us that you are unable to explain what happens to those monies. That is just the truth.
All right, Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu, thank you very much. I can see that you are not really, I can see that from your mood, you are really on fire, and it calls for worry, actually.
Of course, it does.
Because looking at what hopes does he have for us? The children, you keep hearing that we are the leaders of tomorrow. We keep hearing all kinds of lofty promises. Electricity is not fixed. Roads are not there. Insecurity is not there. Poverty is there. Crime rate is high. The educational system is not functioning at its
nothing
apex.
Nothing.
A lot of issues. And here we are. 2024 budget is not fully funded.
It is a very bad picture.
2025 is still about 34%, according to the Honorable Alex. And now we are in 2026, and we are having issues of 1.5 trillion naira.
This meant for execution of projects all over the country.
But we don't have issues with recurrent.
Exactly. We don't have issues with recurrent.
Why is it?
What I'm thinking about?
Yes.
That 34 million naira that has been disposed to the Minister of Health. I think, I have a feeling there is money made for referendum to run the recurrent expenditures. Because I can't understand how 280-something billion will be approved for me, and then you will not end up just disbursing 34 million.
34 million, that's about how many percentage?
0.0000, I think something, 1.
So how do you expect such ministries to survive?
I can't, I don't. That is why nothing is working in Nigeria. If this is just, see, we have the power sector to take care of. As I'm speaking to you now, I came here, my phone is not fully charged. I just came here with the power.
You can see I'm charging my phone as well.
Exactly.
I didn't sleep with light.
Exactly.
In fact, I've not had light since yesterday morning, 6, 5
have been
a.m.
making noise for more than 20 years for the federal government to do the needful. The federal government couldn't.
If you want me to give you my address, I'll give you my address. Go and confirm it. I've not had light since 5 a.m. yesterday.
Oh, so that's because somebody is sitting on the money meant for those things. Meant for those projects.
And it baffles me how people have a very large heart to carry such kind of huge amount of money. And I'm asking myself, what are you doing with that kind of money?
No, we can't say they take for now.
No, I'm not saying they take. I'm saying when I hear some kind of money, being recovered from some government functionaries or some government officials from EFCC, from
honestly,
yes, when we see cases where EFCC, arrested some government for
talking about billions and trillions,
some billions,
hundreds of
being recovered from that. And I'm asking myself, what are you doing with that kind of money? How do you sleep with that kind of money?
That's you, huh? Me, I think about them as if, are these people really human beings?
In the face of poverty everywhere, people,
what would one do?
And you go out every day. I think to an extent, I blame Nigerians, because at the end of the day, elections will come and somebody will come and be giving you that 10,000 naira. The last election, the EFCC arrested somebody with 17 million naira inside his booth, coming to buy votes, allegedly, probably, too.
This is deliberate. Politicians do that, especially in Africa. They will first expose you to hunger and
weaponize it.
Absolute hunger and want. They will put you in a situation whereby you just can't do without being their puppet, without being a dog to them. They will make you so hungry. I think we had in this country a minister saying that we can impoverish certain group of people until they are ready to sell their vote for 2,000 naira. A minister openly spoke this in media. So it is a deliberate pro to expose you, to subject you to hunger and want to such an extent that you have no option to take whatever they did you for you to elect them, to vote for them. This is insulting. You are dehumanizing your electorate. You are dehumanizing your citizens.
For your personal self.
For yourself, for your whims, for your greed. And then the one bad thing about things is that you cannot die and be taken into your grave with those money. You will die and leave it behind. And then you will tell your God how you are able to come across these monies.
But do some people care about this? Do some say that?
No, I'm telling them to start caring. I'm taking them to remember that you are not taking shishi to your grave. And you will be accountable. You will be held accountable by God to whatever you know. Because
some of us still live life as though there is no life is
permanent.
It's permanent.
And it's ephemeral. It's ephemeral. It will end.
We are all on transit.
We are all on transit. It's transient. Life is transient. You will die and you'll account for it.
Okay. Before we call it a close or wrap up the program for this morning, I would like us to also touch a little about this issue of not having budgets being fully funded. What do you make about that? So this is something we've been hearing all the time. Each time we carry over, even when we have supplementary budget and the rest of them, we still hear budgets not being fully funded.
Or maybe it may be funded, but then monies will not be devoted.
Inadequate resources,
yes,
or missing resources. So what do you think is responsible for that? Because every time I've been hearing this for a long time, every time we have projects not being funded, and I wonder if we don't have enough money, or
we have the money, and sometimes when we have gaps to be made, we look out for loans, international loans, to cover in the gap so that budgets can be passed. So you understand. But the problem is that we don't hold people responsible. Just like this time around, I hope we hold these two responsible for their actions. Those who are responsible for disbursement should do their work appropriately, and after those monies are being disbursed, those who are supposed to utilize the money to do what is required of them to do with the money to fund the project should also do that. Failing that, we have to have the ability to check projects. Even the house should have a oversight function of visiting all those projects. Do you understand? See whether it is ongoing and see what level of development have taken place in that particular project, so that they will know whether the money being used for that particular project has been used judiciously. But we don't do that. And there are people that are even alleging that sometimes even the house members, they will send them monies and then they will forget about doing all those things. So you understand?
So what are you expecting? What are you expecting from this government? Are you saying that the government should wade into this matter and see how that because now the minister.
Who are the government? The minister to whom the money is entrusted is also part of the government.
And he's saying allegedly he's not aware of.
I just want the government to allow things to go naturally. Let the house prop these people. Let the house force the people to make explanation. And if this explanation is not satisfactory,
do you see the possibility of this matter being swept under the carpet?
Of course I see it. We are in Nigeria and we know how corrupt our politicians are. It's all about the money they get. Most times, not all the time. Unless and until.
Are you saying corrupt allegedly?
Allegedly, yeah.
Corrupt. Because
it's not allegedly. We have so many corrupt politicians all over the place. Some of them are still being detained in facilities, in EFCC and other things. If they are not, are they not politicians? If they are not corrupt, if there's nothing they are required to explain about, what would they be?
No one has been jailed.
That is the problem. It still boils down to corruption. If somebody is being found wanting or is been found to
some of them end up in plea bargain.
You understand?
Bring some part of the money and then go and see no more.
I saw one guy. He said, maybe Nigeria, let him just divide the money to give them half.
And then you go with the rest and see no more.
The Pope are saying this.
We've had a situation where even a political leader or a party leader comes out in public to say, if you join a political party,
position right now.
If you join a particular political party, your sins are forgiven.
Exactly. These are all the scenarios. I like it that they're expanding it this way. Yes. So it's still.
So nobody has been used, to serve as a deterrent to others. And this keeps happening every time.
Every time. I'm telling you, every time. If you can steal 10 trillion naira in Nigeria, and do.
You become a statesman.
A state, you call them statesman. Okay, and do what you are asked to do. You can go away safe.
And play by the rules.
Play by the in court and
unquote.
And by the rules.
Just like the political leader said.
You can go free. You have seen
join my party.
You have seen several went
saints.
Free. So please, it's about time we have people like what is his name? Mascot. We want so many of them in that place, and even in the Senate, people that will be able to stand up and talk on behalf of their citizens, on behalf of their constituencies, and on behalf of general Nigerians. If he can do it for his own people. In fact, he's not even fighting the cause of his own people that voted him. He's fighting the cause of Nigerians. Because this project are not just located in Aba. It's not, that money is not for one project.
He's actually from Aba North and Aba South. Not that he's talking about project now. He's just a member representing that particular zone.
We are speaking the same language.
But he's protecting issues of national interest.
Exactly. So we want so many of them in the House of Reps. So we want to see so many of them in the National Direct Chambers.
1.5 billion can fix a lot of things in countries like
that. It's not billion. 3
trillion.
Trillion. Very outrageous sum of money for someone to come and face the the Senate, and then he knows that he's being watched all over the national television and saying that I cannot explain. How did he become a minister in the first place?
Wow, we saddled with the responsibility to be the custodian.
And I heard that this guy is a financial expert too. He knew finances very well.
Of course, he has a lot of investors. He should be very rich enough to afford him that position.
He was there by virtue of his qualification behind the other connections. Then you're coming to meet 230 million Nigeria and be telling them that I cannot explain, let the minister have said explain. You are calling us all fools and stupid.
Do you see anything fishing?
There are a lot. Unless, that I always give benefit of doubt to people in situations like this. Unless he's able to go back to the drawing room, him and his minister have said, consult their books, and then come up with a very, very verifiable.
So what are you expecting in the next plenaries, next sitting? What are you expecting?
Not only expecting, I'm also hoping
that they will be able to find the money.
They will be able to tell us where the money is. They already told us why they did not. One, they told us the money is there. So where the money is sitting, it's not even the question. It's not even the issue now.
Okay.
Because the Minister of State said, yes, the money has been approved, and yes, the money is lying there. It's still there.
Sleeping.
Correct. They did not disburse those monies because certain conditions have not been met by the ministries. But why it sounded very funny is that if conditions were not met, what did you do? She didn't say that. What did you do to alert those ministries to do the needful and then to submit their conditions and then for you to make the disbursement?
All right.
Is it that you are thinking that they will forget?
If I allow you, I can see that emotionally you are involved in this matter.
Yes, because in my
it's painful. I understand your feelings, sir. But we have to go. We just have to go because time is no longer our friend, and it's been the morning show here on the Business and Politics and Business Television here in the city of Abuja, and you've heard from Mr. Ibrahim Shaibu. He has been doing a very fantastic job trying to express his, displeasure over the 1.5 trillion naira, and of course
our hard-earned
money. And also, he has also done a yeoman's job in the area of the Iran-Israel bombing, the possible economic threats that is, being confronted by Africans. And we do hope that all these issues will be trashed in no distant time. All right, thank you very much for watching, and we do hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same station. My name still remains Chidi Kenneth, and do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.